Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am doing quite well myself. Good to chat with you again. We'll chat here a little bit about the upcoming show, which is 2 days from now at Pablo Center here in Eau Claire. Okay, but before anything, just remind me, Steelers mega fan, right?
What's that?
Steelers mega fan, right?
Oh, huge. Yeah.
That's right. I knew it. So, of course, I have to ask, this is becoming kind of a tradition to ask you about how you think the Steelers are going to do. How are they going to do against the Ravens on Saturday night?
We're going to win, man.
Well, I figured you'd say that.
We're going to win. We're going to win. It's destiny. We got to win for Cam. We got to win the Super Bowl for Cam.
That's true. Are you at all concerned about the way they've performed the past few weeks?
Man, it's just been a mess. I'm disappointed, more than anything, because they just haven't showed up, and it's kind of becoming a cliche at this point. But I don't know what happens to them. But at some point in the year, they just lose focus, and it happens every year. And I don't know what to say to that. It's just like, I don't know, drives me crazy. They'll be so good for so long, and then they fall off the hill.
Okay, so I literally this morning, because I do a weekly thing on our local sports talk show, and we were talking about coaches who would be on the top 2 seeds in both conferences. Of course, there's plenty of Packers talk, obviously, here, and being that I'm a Vikings fan, there's enough of that talk, too. But which coaches would be potentially in trouble? And we bounced around the idea of Tomlin. I thought, no, he's not. What do you think about, regardless of the outcome, how long do you think Tomlin should stick around?
Well, the national view of Tomlin is totally different than the Steelers fans' view of Tomlin. I mean, I love him. I think he's great. I mean, I do. But at some point, you got to face the reality of the situation, and he hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is he says our business is winning. Football's our game, and our business is winning. And, well, if that's the case, Hoss, you better go ahead or crap or get off the pot, because this is untenable. For a Steelers fan, we're the Yankees of football. You can say what you want, but we expect a certain amount of success and level. We don't look to the playoffs as, we made it to the playoffs. We're Super Bowl driven, and you have to have, like he says, the standard is the standard. Well, if that's the case, then, like I said, crap or get off the pot.
Well, fair point. So, at the risk of turning this into a full-on Steeler podcast here, we'll switch it back to actual hairball for a little bit here with the performance coming up. So this is the timing, I think, is really good because literally 22 hours ago, y'all posted about Patrick Stone. Do tell, the newest member of Hairball.
Oh, he's a gentleman and a scholar, and I'd let him date my sister. He's just a nice guy. Comes from L.A., so he's a California boy, and it's just awesome. His resume is pretty incredible. He worked with Lemmy from Motorhead for several years, which is, I can't wait to pick his brain on those things. And he's just got an interesting story, and it all comes back to humility and accountability and just being a above board good person, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have Patrick. And what a phenomenal singer. Oh my goodness. Wait do you hear this guy's voice? It's just absolutely incredible. And he has an original band also called Butterside, which is phenomenal as well. If you haven't looked them up, do that. And my goodness, just we're thrilled to death to have Patrick. It's wonderful.
How did you come across him? How did you discover Patrick?
Well, his name had been kicked around a bit, and from friends and people within the industry, and so when people you respect give you that kind of advice or hey, take a look at this guy, you go look, and man, he was as advertised. He's the real deal. He's a true, absolute 100% rock star.
Okay,
so, in every sense of the good part of it, yes, right. He's awesome.
Very good. Of course, Lemmy is. You just say the name. Everyone who knows anything about rock, whether they're a Motorhead fan or not, you say Lemmy, you know. Steven Adler's a pretty big name given Guns N' Roses and
correct.
Appetite for Destruction.
His resume reads pretty daggone good. He was in Adler's Appetite for many years. So I think you're in a special treat to hear him sing Guns N' Roses. And he's just an incredible showman. I mean, like I said, you can look it up and watch it for yourself. But hopefully you're coming to the show to see his inaugural show, which we're just so stoked for everybody to see. So we can't wait.
Well, that's good timing because given again that we are 2 days away from that show at Pablo, maybe it's better to let people come and see it, but like what are GNR songs? Is there anything else, like a certain role you have in mind? I mean, of course you have a role in mind, but you've been rehearsing, but what's going to be his position in Hairball genre-wise?
Well, he'll probably initially, we're going to start out with a few different things, but I would assume that it's going to be, of course, Guns N' Roses, probably Ozzy, probably Journey, probably Motley Crue, things of that nature, and get him off and running. But he's so versatile that he should be able to come up to speed and tack on a lot more characters as he goes, because he's a very, very talented individual. I mean, he's on the level, man. He's really, really, really good. And for the ladies, he's easy on the eyes. So there you go. He's just a very talented, humble human being, and exactly what we was hoping he'd be. So we're thankful.
Very good. I don't know if you guys have ever performed this before. Maybe if I dug deeper, I could find out for myself. But have you ever pondered, especially now with him being in the band, ever like breaking out Ace of Spades or something like that?
I actually do Lemmy in the band. So, we've already done that, and we've brought that out several times, and maybe we'll bring it out this weekend in honor of Patrick.
Perfect.
So he could judge me on my Lemmy,
He's got a very direct connection there. Does he have the most, of everyone who has been in Hairball over the years, does he have the most connection, like direct connections to like big name in rock or metal or hard rock of anyone? I mean, I don't know how you tally that, how you quantify that, but I have to imagine that he ranks up there, if not at the top of the list of any all-time Hairball member.
Well, the great thing about Hairball is that everybody in this band has done something of significance before they got into Hairball. Billy Thomas, our drummer, toured with Johnny Lang for years. He was in Soul Asylum. He was in. He opened for the Rolling Stones several different times. His resume reads pretty well as well. My personal resume, I toured with Billy Ray Cyrus for 10 years and played bass for him. And then you had, Happy, who's played with everybody, including everybody that we tribute, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, Dee Snider, Rob Halford, Motley Crue, Vince Neil's been on our stage, Stephen Pearcy, and Chris Fox the same way. He's played with so many great people, and everybody in the band, and Brian HBK, everybody in the band has done something of significance, and he's just the latest entry. And because we expect somebody to be able to come in and do this at a very high level, and his resume speaks to that. His experience and his veteranship speaks to that. And man, we're just so stoked to have him. I mean, he fits right in with what we do.
What is different, if anything, besides obviously him coming in, show-wise, what, if anything, is different for the 2025 shows? You guys have been around Western Wisconsin not that long ago. Is there anything different people are going to see if they go to the Pablo show on Friday?
Well, we add something all the time, but if I tell you right now, it's going to spoil the surprise. So we can't tell you what's in the soup. You just got to taste it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I promise you this. I hope that we've never let you down, and we always think about the people that come to our shows and what they would want and what would wow them. So whenever we say that we're taking this 25th silver anniversary to the next level, I promise you we're taking it to the next level. So you're just going to see a great fun show, as you always do, with some surprises that you didn't expect. And that's what we do every year. We just keep upping the bar.
Is there any... I think I've asked this of you before, so I'll probably keep asking anytime I interview you in the future. Of course, given that you guys are coming to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair in July, that is a possibility even later this year. But any other songs, artists that just come across your radar, not even necessarily to perform, but like, that's interesting. Okay, I might want to learn more about that. That's intriguing me more from an artistic perspective. Anything over the last year or so?
Well, I mean, like I said, we did add Lemmy, which was a big deal for us because, he is outside of the box of, like, normal popularity. But like you said, everybody knows who Lemmy is. He's an iconic look and an iconic character with an iconic song. So everybody knows Ace of Spades. So when it was pitched, it was like, oh, yeah, well, let's give it a shot. And the minute that we started doing it, people fell in love with it. They just absolutely lost their mind because we never really get that heavy, and that's a heavy, heavy song. But yeah, I mean, there's songs and characters that we look at all the time, but we tend to think more about the collective, the people that are in the audience that are going to know these things, as opposed to serving ourselves. Anything that we want to do that's different from what we would traditionally do, like let's say Twisted Sister, we do I Want to Rock and We're Not Going to Take It. That pleases the most people. Could we do You Can't Stop Rock and Roll? Sure. Could we do The Price? Sure. Could we do Burn in Hell? Sure. Who's it going to please, us or the crowd? So we got to think about the people that are out there, and the most people out there want to hear I Want to Rock and We're Not Going to Take It. So we play to the people that want to hear it.
Very good. I have noticed on one of our radio stations, 92.9 The X, which is active rock, of our older music that we do play, there's a fair amount of that, again, like you said, the heavier stuff, like the British metal, the old school British metal between Ace of Spades, Judas Priest, stretching down to older school AC/DC, so it's kind of tangential related to that. People still love those, and it's the biggest hits, obviously, but around here in western Wisconsin, given that we're playing, like Five Finger Death Punch and current acts, whatever's out right now, we're still playing some of those older ones, and those go over pretty well on this station. So like you said, whatever is the most popular, that seems to be, that audience around here seems to go for that. Yes,
absolutely, 100%, and don't get me wrong, I would love to play Painkiller. I would love to play Green Manalishi with the two-pronged crown. I would love to play, Rising from Ruins. I would love, just name the Priest song, and I would love to play it. And we do Judas Priest. But at the end of the day, you kind of want to make sure that the most people are being served. It's kind of like McDonald's is not going to stop serving Big Macs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to keep giving them Big Macs.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe one day, the go-to example I have for this is honestly Weird Al Yankovic a few years ago when he did his like gratuitously self-absorbed tour, as he called it. But when he decided, I'm not going to do parodies, I'm going to do my original songs, and that's it. And of course, he has enough of a diehard fan base that like they ate that up. But they could do that where they're like, no, I'm going to do these more obscure songs. Who knows? Maybe one day, I hope, maybe years from now, you guys can break out like, what are your favorites? I'll bet you'd probably have a pretty good response.
If you ever came to a sound check, you would hear those favorites.
Ooh.
I promise you that, because we roll them out. We have, I walked in one night, one sound check, and the band was doing Charisma by Kiss, and then we did what was it? Steer Knows Something by Kiss, and then we did You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, and the Skid Row and Queensryche and things like that. I mean, all of that stuff. We can do it.
Ooh.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the talent in this band's ridiculous, and we can do those things. But again, I wish everybody could come and be a fly on the wall during sound check, because we really get we really get our nerd on when we start playing some stuff that we really, really love.
Oh, that sounds like that. Yeah, that would be the thing. But the big thing is still the big thing. Pablo Center coming up on Friday night. Hairball. Glad to have you guys back. Enjoy for your Steelers. All the best. Who knows? Maybe you'll play my Vikings in a New Orleans reunion in the Super Bowl. Gosh, it's been
goodness.
It would be exactly a half century later. Oh my gosh.
That would be 50 years later. Yep, that would be 74. Yep. That would
boy,
be.
yeah. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, the Vikings are looking so good. I know everybody's probably turning off the radio right now, but
yeah.
They should have got that number one seed. But man, you cannot deny the Lions, and the Packers are so good. I mean, what a division you all had this year. Amazing. It's going to be an amazing, fun playoff season. Everybody just enjoy the football. The best fans in the world are in Wisconsin, bar none. You just can't say enough about their football knowledge and who they are as people. So we're really looking forward to coming back to the beautiful confluence there and just having a great time, because what a special place it is to see a fun, get out of the way rock and roll show, because that's what we're going to do.
Awesome. It'll be a great time. Dave, good to talk to you yet again, and I'll see you / talk to you down the road.
Sounds good, my friend.